Hey guys, Bobby again, and this is going to be part two of the getting started training for Sweet Life. Guys, in part one, I think it was like 16 minutes. I think we did good. I'm going to watch the time here. It's 2 o'clock. Okay. Um, we talked about, we're breaking this into two things: the initial things you do to start building, and then your ongoing. Ongoing means just ongoing, just what it says, whether it's month two or year 10. Okay, so what did we say in the initial? We're going to show you the things to say to people, but the bottom line is 10 people see the plan in the first month. That should get you at least three enrollments. Now we go, what do we do on month two, month three, month four? We got to have an ongoing action plan. Okay, so what do I consider the ongoing action plan? Well, first of all, it's a numbers game. And I don't mean that like we don't care about people, but you don't know where people are in their lives as far as open to looking at something. They might have a lot going on. Maybe they just got a promotion. Maybe they just lost their job. So don't take it personal if they don't give this enough attention. That's just because you got to get them in their right timing. Timing is everything. So because of that, if you talk to two people a month, you might say, "Oh, no one's interested." Well, you're not letting the numbers work for you. So I like to teach, and you could do this more, you could do it less. But what I'm kind of showing you that the process is a breakdown of you're starting with a larger number, and as you whittle down the process to getting them on board with the membership, it whittles itself down. So now, these numbers aren't engraved in stone, but I think they're relatively consistent. So your main goal is to get one person a day on your what we call activity list. Activity list means you're in conversation with them about Sweet Life. Maybe it's product, maybe it's money, maybe they're getting on a Zoom, maybe they're getting on a three-way call with Danny. It, it doesn't matter. It's what are you doing? There's some action, okay? The approach is you bring this up to them, they might not interested, right? Or you might have them as a prospect because they say, yeah, tell me more. Well, let's do this, like I just told you. So to get the 30 a month, that at least say, now, what this means is 90 people you just bring it out to, okay? Not just a blanket Facebook post, but some interaction, or at least you target them. Jimmy, look, you hit your Facebook friend. I'm looking at building this. I want to know if you're interested, or let's talk. I'm going to go over that specifics in a second. That's actually a one of your three a day. You understand? Reach out to three people a day. Okay, so let's go through this and I'll show you how this little 90-30-10 system works. We're going to approach three a day. People you know, new people you meet, social media. You got a social media person that can draw traffic, it's a home run. But you don't even need that. Just, I guarantee you, doing life, you come in contact with three people a day, gas station, grocery store, phone call, whatever it is. It just open your mouth, okay? And we're going to go over that. So the bottom line is you never run out of people. Now, what is the approach? When I say approach three people a day, what is an approach? Any type of direct communication to them. You don't even have to have a dialogue. But if you have a communication with them, then what does that mean? They're hearing you. That's all this is. And we're going to go over, again, some of the pitches on that. Any type of direct, obviously a dialogue increases your success rate a little. You're actually talking with them. Okay. Now remember, when we have this initial dialogue, or your initial approach, I should say, can be product based. You can talk about travel, talk about wellness, or it can be service, like I said, travel, or it can be the business. And one of the best icebreakers to me, whether it's a stranger or even sometimes, one of your friends, you might not have, engage with them for a while. Just simple stuff. And if you word it in a way that's comfortable for you, but the basic premise is, hey, Jim, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you keep your options open when it comes to looking at other ways to make money? How simple is that? Do you keep your options open when it comes to looking at other ways to make money? Just curious, yes or no, Well, what is it? Great. That means they They're going to ask that, but at least they say, "Nah, I'm really busy." And most people will give you a positive response to that because who doesn't want to make more money? That's your initial in. So I like leading with that. Okay, or if you feel like, oh my God, I'm I don't want to. Remember, we talked about it's all mindset, but you're still a little shy, or we always say, we don't recruit up because we end up recruiting down. If you feel in your own mind you fit in somewhere in the social status, we always tend to go a little lower, so we feel a little more secure. We won't go talk to the CEO of a company or a big business owner that we might know. You should, because they're the ones with contacts. They're usually the ones that understand residual income, by the way. But we tend to go down a little lower. So if you want to go up the scale a little bit, but you're a little chicken, you could say, "Hey, Jim, listen, I know you know a lot of people. You're successful. Do you know any motivated people that were looking for other ways to make an additional stream of income? I need your help." Okay. So that's just, again, we can expand on these. I'm trying to get you through this whole training in 2 20-minute sessions. So I'm not going to dive into this too deep, but you get where I'm talking. Okay. Um, that's that. Now, or you could leave with a product, like I talked about, a product or business. Now, what they're going to say when you bring up the business or even sometimes a product, well, what is it? And again, you can tweak this a little. It's a private membership, allows members an amazing platform with valued benefits, along with an incredible income potential for anyone who's interested in making another stream of income. In other words, don't throw the business at them. It's a valued membership, but there's also a business attached to them. You just say it's a valued membership, they're like, people are hungry looking for money. There's a great way to make an additional income stream. Now there is, at least in my mind, there is per. Okay. Now, you do that to 3 people a day. If you have to, if you get one right away, maybe you can stop, because the goal is one new person a day gets in what we call on your prospect list. That means when you have this pitch to them, okay, you talk to 3, maybe a day later you get a response back on Facebook. "Yeah, I'd be interested. What's it all about?" That's a prospect. Now you're going to do more dialogues. All you try to do here is 3 a day to get one to say, "Tell me more." Does that make sense? You might not need 3, but if you talk to one a day, you might not get one prospect a day because you never get back to you. They say, "No, I'm too busy." 3 people a day will land you one person that you're at least doing more work with. Does that make sense? So everything gets put on a list. I don't care if it's in your phone or your computer, it's not in your head. I just keep a paper list. I have it here. Started, I just started August, and there it is. 4 people. Boom. We're just starting August. One a day. By the time August is over, I hope to have 30 names on that list. 30 people that now the process of getting them through, watching a video, getting them on a presentation, following up, trying product, whatever it is before they decide to be a member, that could be an overlapping process that could take another month, but it's okay. The main thing is by the end of the month, you've got 30 people that are in process, okay? Whether they go forward or not. Now, what's going to come of that? Okay, well, let's stay on this for a minute. The 30 people a day, okay, what are you going to do with them? So Jimmy says, "Yeah, I'd like to know more." All right, great. He goes on your prospect list. What's the information? What are we setting up? So when they say that, you say, "Great, I like booking a 10-minute conversation. 3-way call if you're new and you want to get Danny on the phone or one of your other leaders, somewhere with just 10 minutes. That way, you don't say 30 minutes unless they want to get on a Zoom, which I'll talk about next. But if you just want to initially paint the picture, I can tell in 10 minutes if we ask the right questions, are they looking? Okay, they just qualify themselves real quick when I start talking to them, or they qualify themselves real quick. Doesn't even take 10 minutes. Okay. So that could be a 3-way call. You give them a little information, but really it's about this is the key, getting the prospect to open about what they're looking for. You ask questions. Where are you at work? Do you keep your mind on options open? Do you Have you ever done any marketing, sales? Just see what they say. Get a feel for where they're looking, their giddy up level, if you will. And just then all you got to say, you don't have to go into a lot of detail. Great, man. You're going to want to know more about this business. You book them into the next step, which is normally a 30-minute Zoom or a live presentation. It depends how we'll go over showing the plan in a little bit. The other approach would be they're interested, you don't lead with the business, but they're interested in knowing more about the products, the services, the travel type of thing. Okay. And now you might get them to look at the website, look at the travel, talk to someone who's an agent, look more into the commissions they can make. So there's a lot of different moving parts we have. I focus on the business, but don't minimize the products or the services that might pique their interest first. Remember, this is just to get them to look at the full presentation where they're going to learn more about the product or service they love. And oh, by the way, when we sneak in the comp plan and the way they can make money, all of a sudden their radar might go up. So what's your goal here? Your goal is to get one a day that you start working. You set something to them initially. Now you're going to book a conversation with them. Your ultimate goal is to do what? Out of those 30 people, number 3, okay, you can, by the way, I forgot to mention this. If the product or service, but I think I did say this, part of the initial conversation, you could book them right. If you're pitching someone and they go, yeah, I'd love to know more, man, I'm so hungry. Great, let's just get on a Zoom. So even though you're trying to get 10 people to see the Zoom, when you talk to them initially, if they're open, book them right into a Zoom presentation, okay? The goal is, guys, out of that interaction with one prospect that you cultivated a day, 30 a month, whether this overlaps into 2 months or the next month, by the time I list 30 people is either yes or no crossed off, I want to have at least 10 of them that have actually seen the plan. So you might lose 2 along the way. You might get 15 out of 30, might get 20 out of 30. You might get 5 out of 30, but I think average wise, you should, if you got some skills or got a good team, or you just duplicate what we're talking about, you should be able to get 10 people a month off that list. Because remember, this is really, even if it overlaps, it's still 1 month's work. And you'll have October's 30 people. So it's really each month you're going to have 30 people on the list, and out of those 30, 10 of them are going to see the plan. Okay. Now, why do I say 10? Because as I said, they might, after they do a call, they might say, no, I'm not interested. They try a product. I don't want to do the bid. I just maybe like the OPC product. So they never really get to see the overview. That's your goal. Get them to see what we call the plan, the overview, basically that 30-minute Zoom that takes right from the company through the compensation plan and the membership values. Okay. So how do we show the overview? What are your options? Okay. One is a live Zoom done by you or your team. Okay. So in other words, it could be the company. I think I have that. Yeah. It could be, I should have put company up there. Done by you, your team, or I missed that. The company. Company does Zooms twice a week. Some of our teams are going to do Zooms twice a week. You might set up a special Zoom for a leader or one person. I do Zooms for one person. It's valuable. Okay. One person is valuable, guys. Okay. Now we can have a 24/7 thing going on, right? Direct them to watch the overview on our team site, or hopefully when we get rolling here with Christopher, he'll have the presentation 24/7 right up on the front of our own websites. Now, what I think we do, I'm just like I'm breaking these trainings up. I think to do a 30-minute presentation, or maybe we go a little more detail, can be 40 minutes, give them a complete view. But that's sometimes 40 minutes will shy people away. We break it up into 2 20-minute or 15-minute presentations. That's all you're going to do. Now, the problem with directing them to a site, they start watching it. The kids come in the room, they get distracted, they look at the TV, and I looked at it, wasn't well. So it's better to get them live. If you watch it with them. If you can't get a Zoom together or they can't get it at 8 o'clock at night, click on the videos, but watch it with them. Make sure they're actually watching the damn presentation. Okay. Um, or you can meet them. I know my friend Danny, big leader. He likes one-on-ones, two-on-ones. We have a little two-page presentation to help keep you on track. That's in your back office. You could show people the plan individually. Okay, do a little house presentation, hand out the two-pager and talk to them. You don't have to do this elaborate, stand up in front of the room presentation. So home meetings, live Zooms, 24-hour recorded. 10 people a month see this one way, shape, or form. Then, of course, the key is you got to follow up with them. Whenever you book a presentation, you always, before sometimes they even see the thing, when are we going to book a follow-up? Okay, Jimmy, you're getting on the Zoom Tuesday night. How about Wednesday at 4 o'clock? Let's talk about what we saw and what your next step is. Because if you leave it open-ended, okay, yeah, Jim, thanks for getting on the Zoom. I'll talk to you in a couple of days. You stop playing phone tag. So the follow-up is so crucial to this presentation process, okay? Because if you show the plan to 10 and you do proper follow-up, you should be able to do what? Book 2 or 3 people a month that'll enroll in one of our memberships, okay? From there, what do? So I should say, going through this process, I already told you this. Track everybody on paper, a sheet, your computer, your phone. Maybe you can do lists on your. I'm not technical. I'm 66. Christ, I can barely attach an email. Everything's on paper. I like it on paper. I can scratch it out. I like to look at it, see where I'm at. So it keeps you on track because guys, why do I say paper? Because remember, we're supposed to get what? 33 a day or 30 a month. If it's the 15th of the month and you don't have 15 names, prospects that you're working with, then you're not doing your job. You're probably not talking to enough people. I guarantee you, if you talk to 3 people a day, the numbers will work. This process of, I think I have it there, duplicate on, maybe I don't. Okay. This process of 90, 30, 10, 1, 90, 30, 10, 3 works. So you can't, I always say to people, don't make a goal of enrolling 3 people a month because you can't control that. The only thing you can control is how many people you talk to. 3 a day, it's not a lot, guys. Remember if I paid you 100 grand and I hired you, people say, oh, it's a lot. Imagine if I gave you a job part-time. And I said, look, I'm going to pay you 100 grand a year. I want you to bring up my business or products to 3 new people, by the way. Any follow-ups don't count. They're new people, 3 people a day. You would go home, crack open champagne, say, I got the easiest job in the world. I got to talk to 3 people a day. I'd probably take me 10 minutes a day. I got the rest of the day to myself, and this fool's going to pay me 100,000 a year. You could do it. It's just you don't see the results right away, and sometimes because it's a little uncomfortable, you play small. We don't want you to do that. Talk to 3 a day, and all the other numbers, I guarantee, will fall into place. You'll get 1 a day asking for more information. Out of those 30, 10 will see the plan, and 3 should enroll if you bring them to a decent presentation. Okay? What's the last step? And we're done. At time did I start? 2 o'clock. We're coming up on 20 minutes. I got to finish this real quick. It's only 1 more paragraph. Okay? Duplication. Real simple. Whatever I'm showing you, show it to them. How hard is that? Everything's in the getting started guide. We talk about the Zooms. We talk about company trainings, company events, learning about the product. Everything we just went over is going to be in this guide, right? So if all you have to do is get them to go to the this company training. This training leads them to what? Tell them what I tell them to do. Go in their back office. They're going to look at the comp plan trading. They're going to look at the product tradings. So we got to have one succinct message that brings them everywhere else, and they can't get lost. You with me? So all you got to do is when they enroll, instruct them to follow this. Download the guide, watch these videos. There might be maybe Danny's team. He has his own getting started. Tweaks it a little different. he has his team watching him. We're all basically saying the same message, just a little bit different flavor to it. Okay. Now, also, of course, it's all built into the guy, but attend as many company trainings, Zooms. It just builds your. Now, if we do, we'll start doing some live events eventually. But again, Zoom is a great tool to keep us tied in, at least when people are all over the world, all over the continent. Okay. And the other thing is this: from a leader, don't just rely on watch. You got to say, okay, they watched this training. Bobby did the heavy lifting. Your job is to, especially the leaders. Now, if a person becomes, the ones, they just become product users, they're really not building. But the ones that got giddy up and are hungry to build this, you should be talking to them daily, at least once a week. Okay, keep track of them on a list. These are my go nows. These are my people that want this as bad as me or more. Those are the ones you contact. Hey, did you go through the guide? Did you do this? Did you go get a training coming up? Just talk to them. They might fire you up. You might fire them up. But that is all duplication is, guys. Following process initially and then keeping in contact with them once they get going, once they start building a team, I'm telling you, you'll want to talk to them more, but they ain't going anywhere. The crucial part, we don't want people to drop, guys, because they came into this business with a dream, doggone it. You do your part to keep them on board. And sometimes they need a little nudge to get them there. So I hope this is not that complicated. Follow the steps, listen to this once or twice. It'll sink in. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you. It's just basic principles of building. You can't just, how do they say, I never like that statement, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, but you can't just say, I got to build a team. What are the steps to do that? And it all starts to having a system to bring in those 3 memberships a month. Even if you guys have tough, you find 1 membership a month, you'd be doing phenomenal. Okay, I'm done. Hope it helped. Let's rock and roll.